Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing CSS Battle number 236, Concentrate from Battle number 36. Okay, so the way I want to do this is we're going to set the body to display flex. It's going to be flex row by default, and then we're going to give a gap of, I believe, 30 pixels to separate these. What we're going to need to do is, so each one of these is just going to be a circle. We're going to set that to flex, justify content, align item center, to put this in the middle. We're going to have another element with a circle in here. And then this circle, we're going to give it a border of this blue color and an outline of this orangish color. But what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put that circle in a container, set the width to, I believe, 80, which is this, then set the overflow of the parent element to hidden, so it cuts off these sides. And then we need to position the circle in the center of that container. So that's going to be the approach. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start off by doing one at a time. I'm going to use letters of the alphabet to label my elements. So A, that's the container. B is the yellow circle. And C is the small circle in the middle of the yellow circle. Okay, so that's going to be this one here, and eventually we're going to have 3 of these. But we're just going to worry about one for now. I'm going to get this style tag. Oops. Okay. So we're going to set the body Actually, we're going to set the body and element B. So the body and this circle are going to have the exact same background of this yellowish color. Then we can set it to display flex, justify content, to center everything horizontally, align items, to center everything vertically. And then we can just put gap in here too. This circle only has one element, so I don't think this gap will affect that at all. So I'm not too worried about that, but that's something I'm not sure of, so we'll see when we get there if that's going to be a problem or not. Okay, good. And then I think that's all we need to do for the body. So let's move on to A. Now this is our container. I believe it has a width of, before we do this, I got a better approach to this. What we're going to do, let's come back to this. Let's comment out A. And I think that will make it easier to make sure we have the correct size for B. So now we can set B. I'm going to say it probably has a width of 90 and a height of 90. And I'm also going to do this. I'm going to go B and C. Since those are both circles, we can go ahead and give them both a border radius of 50%. And that's how we make a circle, right? Same width and height, and then border radius at 50%. And just to make sure this is correct for check, let's go ahead and give this a different color. And it is. Good. Now we get rid of that. And then we can say border solid. I want to say 60 pixels. Oops. 60 pixels. Nope. Way off. 30? Yes. And then it's got this bluish color. And then we can say outline solid 30 pixels. It's orange color. Good. And then let's see. And then let's grab C. We're going to give it a background of this bluish color, sorry, orange color. And that is going to have a height, I think, height and width of 30. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to A. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a height of 300, so the full height, width 80, and we're going to say overflow hidden. And why isn't it working? Because we have this commented out. Cool. Okay, so we see some pretty funny behavior here. First thing we need to do, we need to get this in the middle here. So, let me try something here. Comment this out. No. And center flex. I'm a little confused at the minute. So, before we move any further, let's give this a background of blue. And I know what we need to do. Excuse me. This also needs to be this also needs to be display flex. No. Huh. I know okay. Sorry about that. So, because we gave it full height, right, it is adhering to these flexbox properties. So what we need to do is, let's come back here. Backgrounds, doesn't matter. We'll say blue so we can really see it. So yeah. It's just not being centered in there. Now the issue, the easy solution, that you might jump to is saying flex. Oops, sorry. Display flex. Right. So that puts everything in the center, but what Flex is going to do is it's going to shrink it down. It's going to squeeze it together like that, and that's not what we want. So we can't do that. So we're going to get rid of that, and then we're just going to use the relative property. Now we can move it around in there. So I'm going to say this is probably top 80. It's 75 actually. Okay, that looks right. And then we gotta move it from the right a bit. So right 50. Man, I need to spell right. Right. Right 50, that's too much. 40. 30. That looks correct. No, we need 35. Okay, now that's perfect. Good. Now we got what we want. Cool. Okay. Excuse me. And the final thing we need to do is we're just going to copy this, paste 2 more down there, and our gap is off. If you remember, we put this gap of 30 pixels in there. We can change it to 20. Yes. Perfect. A little bit off there. You can see a little bit of these curves there, but that's pretty close. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the comments. And then we're going to get rid of all the white space. I'm just going to look at the divs for now. Careful when you do this. Again, we're getting rid of white space to minimize the amount of characters that we use. Put everything on one line. It's going to look terrible, and it's not a best practice in real life, but this will help you get a higher score. Hit delete, and then delete. Makes that cool. And then finally, we got everything on one line. And if you notice, I did this before and I had 1,059 characters. By deleting all this stuff, we got it down to 444 characters. So let's go ahead and submit. Great. All right, we got a new high score. Not by much, but that's okay. 900 or 99.9% match. I don't know. That's a win to me. I don't know how I can make that any better. All right, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it helped. And if you'd like to see more like these, please, or more videos like this, please remember to like and subscribe my channel. Enjoy your day.